Okay. Can you hear me now? Can anybody hear me?
Yes, we can hear you, Jeff.
That's what I wanted to see. I wanted to hear that. Okay, so we have the microphone, we have the speaker, we have the projector on the screen. We have the peanut gallery here. So I think we have people here. Okay, what I'm going to do is ask the people who are in the room to stand up and make sure that you're visible to the camera and introduce yourself and explain who you are and why you're here. We'll start from that way.
Sorry, Jeff, we're having trouble hearing them.
Come closer to the microphone. Hold on. Okay, try it again.
Hi, can you hear me now?
Yes, sir.
I'm Ted Britt. I'm with project engineering. We're the civil engineer for the application.
I'm Kelly Possessny. I'm with Walsh Colucci, and we represent the applicant.
I'm Aaron Bartley. I'm with Tritech Engineering as well, civil engineer.
I'm Bob Smith with the Tyson and Friends. Oh, sorry. I'm Bob Smith representing the Tyson and Friends deviated dog style.
I'm Hilo Mehta and with Tyson and Friends with the dog style.
Okay, and those who are here in person?
Stephen Jordan.
Thank you. Okay, so remember, get to be about the end of this table. Any closer, your head's been disconnected. You know what I'm saying? Nobody can see it, okay? And come a little closer, as that song goes about in that Mexican, never mind, we won't go there. That's a song I remember. All right, so in any case, we have two items on the agenda. The first one is this dog run. And the second one will be a discussion about the data centers that will happen after you're finished. And we thank you for coming here on this late fall evening. Okay? And I think we're technologically set up. So with that in mind, do you want me to open up the presentation? Okay? So in the agenda that you received, it doesn't have the presentation, but what it does have is the handouts, the statement of justification, the SE plat, the photo exhibit, the interior layout exhibit, and the pet waste containment management plan. A very interesting topic that we'll just skim over. All right? We won't go into the details. The next item on the agenda is the actual presentation, and I should have mail. And the mail's here. And I don't want to open the new windows. Stop it. I don't want windows. No, cancel. I want the old mail. I don't, oh, come on now. Stop. I don't want to set it up. No, cancel. I don't want to do that. All right. I want mail. I know it's going to open next year, but this year I want to use the current mail. There we are. See? If I have to use Outlook on my computer, I will download Thunderbird.
I just sent it to you again.
Then, okay, you sent it to me again?
Yeah.
So let's hold on and
Maybe
a
it's too
search.
big a file.
Link, hold on. Put it again. I saw it on my phone, but it was the last time it was to be downloaded.
Yeah.
Okay.
I was thinking that would be easier for you. but-
5. Okay, here it is. Here, no. 5 best spot. People who Gilded Age. There we go. Okay, so thank you for just try to call you. We know that's a different one. Just try to call you. Have a person. Let's have a person. Okay, so you sent me another one. Kelly, here's the
Maybe there. If you want.
Well, hold on now. Yeah, this place-
Do you want to see if Lynn can just,
You know, it's funny why I don't have it there, but all right, never mind. There
Do you want me
are-
to try to send it?
Excuse me? Oh, I don't know if I got it. I have not seen this. Okay, so you send it to me, I'm gonna download it, we're gonna take care of it another. So there are methods to our madness.
what's it?
All right, let's look for Kelly. Okay, here we go. A presentation, the dog stop. Okay, so, all right. We are going to be in the dog stop. So I'm going to join the group and share it from my computer. And we're going to go here, maybe, right? I'm going to mute myself. Okay, now I'm going to share. Okay, so now let's go back to here. Here. Let's go back to. I downloaded it, right? So it should be here. File zip, right? Here. The link is here. Okay, good. So now I want to download. Before I share it, I'm gonna open the file. Okay, hold on. Somebody open some places here. There we go. Okay, so you want me to delete this one?
Yep.
Okay, okay, so now I'm going to go to the view, and we're going to go to the presentation mode, okay? Which is slide master. No, I don't want to do that. View.
Sometimes go down.
Well, you know.
Makes it, yeah.
Okay, so the next thing now I have to do is share that. So hold on. So now I go to WebEx,
Got the slide master.
WebEx. Now share my desk. Now I want to share PowerPoint.
Oh, wait.
Okay,
You
there you
shared,
go.
you shared your
Yeah.
master style.
I know, now we're going to go back.
Oh,
here.
gotcha.
Okay, can everybody see the dog stop?
Yeah, we can see it, Jeff.
Okay, great, okay. So you can see the dog shop, and what I'm going to do now is to allow the people in the room to see the same thing. Thing in my pocket. Okay, so hopefully things show that on the screen someplace there. Come on.
Go ahead, turn the lights off, Jeff.
Yes, if you would. There we are. Okay, so we can see the show. And excellent. No, the other way around. I think that's good. Okay, is everybody can see now? Yes. Okay, with that in mind,
Thank you. Good evening. My name is Kelly Pisasny, and I'm with Sully, and I represent the applicant. With me tonight are Vish and Pearl Mehta, and they are the operators of the dog stop. I also am here with Ted Britt and Aaron is it Barton? Yep, from Tech. And also Lynn Strobel is on the WebEx, as well as Ronnie Robbins, who is with, Strobel is with me from Walton Ritchie. So we are here to talk about the Dog Stop. So the Dog Stop is a franchise that my clients have purchased, and they've opened in the Centreville Shopping Center. So if you could go to the next slide, please. So to orient ourselves, the blue is, or blue purplish, is the Centreville Shopping Center. So that is the whole shopping center. And the Dog Stop is located where the red square is located. So the whole shopping center is about 18.25 acres, and the Dog Stop property is just about an acre. It's zoned to the C7 district. It's in the highway corridor overlay. It's in the sign control as well as the water supply protection overlay districts. It is butts right up against the right of way for the Route 28, Route 29 interchange, which you can see to screen right. And the property is located on the south side of Route 29. The overall shopping center is about 211,000 square feet. And the property itself, the building is around.
Hold on, I'm gonna ask you to slow down for a second. They're telling me that there's no sound as of yet. So
Hey, Jeff, this is Jay. I can hear.
you can hear.
I can hear.
And this is Ronnie Robbins, and I can hear very well.
And Lynn Strobel can hear also.
Okay. Lewis, I think you need to look into why you can't hear when everybody else can. But of course, I'm saying that and Lewis can't hear me. So I think, okay, so Lewis, examine yourself. Everyone else can hear. Go ahead, John.
Straight as up.
Oh. See? Come on, machine. Hold on. You know, that's why I brought my, oh, there we go. Okay, all right.
Okay, so I got a couple slides, I'll do that. Can you go back to the location? There we go. So as I was saying, the overall shopping center is about 211,000 square feet, and the Dog Stop property is about 9,000 square feet, give or take. They also have, what's interesting about the property is it's got a 7,600 square foot fenced yard in the back, which serves the purposes this use very well. Go to the next slide, please. So this is the proposal. So as I said, my clients, they purchased the franchise of the Dog Stop, and they are coming through for a special exception. Now, what's interesting is in the C7 district, the kennel use is permitted by right. What is not permitted by right is the outdoor components that are associated with the kennel use. So that's why they are going before the Planning Commission and the Board of Supervisors requesting a special exception for those outdoor uses. So a little bit about the Dog Stop. The Dog Stop's an all-inclusive pet facility. They offer daycare, boarding services, grooming, training, as well as they have a small retail component for the facility. They only cater to dogs, so hence the Dog Stop, but other pet facilities may allow cats or whatnot, but they are dogs only. So if you could go to the next slide. Before they applied for the special exception, they went to Fairfax County and got building permits to turn this property, this building into the indoor use. So it used to be a child care center. The building itself was built in around 1991. So what they did was change sort of the classrooms and those things into like dog kennel areas, as well as indoor play areas, as well as the retail use and the grooming section. So as part of,
No, continue going.
okay, as part of like the interior building permits, they also added some additional features. So they went above and beyond, and they added sound absorbing walls and air sanitizers. So it really is a first class facility. And if you have a chance to go in and tour it yourself, you can see that. So that was the indoor use that's allowed by right. So and they opened around Labor Day. If they are open, they're open for business and they're offering services right now. So if you go to the next slide. What they want to do is convert some of these outdoor areas that used to use as like the children's playground and all, into areas for the dogs. So this back area is probably one of the most important. It's what we call the elimination area. And this is what it looks like today. There is a turf there. And right now, if the dogs are leashed or whatnot, if they go to the bathroom, they spot. But as part of the special exception, they're going to do upgrades to it. So this area is fenced. The dogs will come out always with a handler, and there'll be a certain number of dogs, at a time that come out and, use the elimination area. If you go to the next slide, this is what we're proposing to do. So they're going to convert this area. It's going to have the AstroTurf, the artificial turf lawn, but it's also what's underneath it that's really important. And it's going to have this drainable aggregate and all these layers that ultimately connect it to the sanitary sewer. So the purpose of this area is it's going to have a covered canopy, and this area of the property is going to drain to the sanitary sewer system and not the stormwater system. So it's trying to keep the animal, the dog waste out of the stormwater system. So as part of the minor site plan that they were going through when the legal was going through, they adding the sanitary connections to this property. So there is a minor site plan approved to do these improvements, but we're just waiting to see if anything changes during the special exception review. So this is an important part of the project. So, and then I guess we can move to these slides. These are also the exercise and agility areas. So there's two ones, one on the northeast side of the building and on the south yard. And they're going to be, there's going to be agility, like things for the dogs to exercise on, kind of play structure. But it's going to be a very programmed space. It's where the trainers may use, and dogs will only spend maybe 15 or so minutes in these areas throughout the day, just getting some exercise and agility and training in that. So that is pretty much all I had, except for the front extent was great. So where we are right now is we've gone through pre-staffing and we've gotten staff's comments. We have a resubmission date of February 1st. We're probably going to submit in the beginning of January just because we don't think we need all the way to February. Staffing is on February 29th. And then we intend to come back to the Sully district for a vote sometime before our planning commission hearing, which is scheduled for April 24th. Then we'll have to go to the board of supervisors. And our staff coordinator, we had Damaris Martinez, but Andrew Stone is our new person. It's switched from Damaris to Andrews. We haven't talked with Andrew yet. Damaris is the one that gave us our comments, but going forward, if you have any questions, you can reach out to Andrew. And that is all I have, and I'm take any questions as well as.
We're going to first go with the questions from the in-house audience. We got Steve or John, if you have any comments to make, please. I have a question. How many dogs?
Maximum of 150.
Is that set by the county or your district?
That's, I think, what they can handle, but I mean, that would be the absolute max that they would have. There wouldn't be 150 dogs in the outdoor area. I think for their lease, they're required to have no more than 40 dogs in one time. So,
We have over 93.
yes.
We had something there, I think.
They have cameras. So if you go in the facility, there's cameras in there, not too far away. So they would monitor if any.
So, yes, basically, most of the boarding places where the dogs are boarded, they do not have a person staying overnight. Because the study has showed that if somebody's staying and if the person is walking around or away to go to maybe some restroom or anything, dogs are as it is half awake or anxious one because they are in a new place. And one could be awake and hear noise, one barks, another barks, and that way it causes more stress and they don't get enough rest at night.
You say, I have a dog that I bring in. Check the dog, I bring it there. We'll have to bring, we should be able to have, show it, has all the shots.
Absolutely. Every dog is required to have sharp records, and if they don't have it, we do not.
Okay, in this case, please, you ask the question, who knows the answer, come a little bit closer. People, virtual visitors are having a hard time hearing this conversation. Now, John, so why don't you repeat your question, come out with Kelly sitting and kind of do that if you appreciate that?
I was just standing next to
Okay.
Okay, my question was, first, how many dogs will it accommodate? The answer was,
About, we can accommodate 150 dogs.
my second question, will you have a employees stay overnight with the dogs? And the answer was,
No.
And give us some reason why.
Yeah, and that is because the study has shown that if somebody is staying overnight, the dogs do not get enough rest at night. They are awake if they hear somebody is walking around or any of kind of disturbance. And for that reason, the dogs are being walked at 8 p.m. at night. We put them in kennel, make sure they have water and everything. And next day morning, 6 a.m., we have a person who comes in and takes care of the dogs again.
my last question was, does the owner have to produce a document showing that the dogs had all the shots? And the answer was,
Yes, we need all the 3 vaccinations that is required.
Okay, so now I'm going to ask the people in the audience, virtual audience, when the folks came to the meeting, wait, when the folks stood next to Kelly, were you able to hear what they said?
Yes, it was better, Jeff.
Thank you so much. Okay, Steve, do the same thing, please. Thank you. We're learning these tricks of the trade.
It sounds like we've got one question about the sanitary issue. Is there, with 150 dogs, is there any, what sort of cleanup is required, maintenance, daily maintenance, or?
There is daily maintenance. She probably knows better than I do, but so basically there's going to be a pet waste management plan that is part of the application. And when the dog goes to the bathroom, it's spot cleaned immediately. The waste is picked up and it's put into a biodegradable container and it's taken away by, what's it called? The duty companies.
There's a company that responds.
Yes. And then each night it's also disinfected and goes down. So there's a lot of.
That's what I was interested in, because it's artificial turf.
Right.
So I was curious about the process
Yes.
that is used to clean that.
Yes. Yes. Each
I have a machine and then it gets sprayed down every night. So all the chemical bacteria and everything is then.
And one other question. So I appreciate that you put up soundproofing in.
Yes.
What about concern about effect on neighboring businesses? Before the dogs are outside.
So part of the application is also to change the fence to an 8-foot vinyl fence. So they're proposing to get rid of the 6-foot fence that's there now and construct an 8-foot fence. So that's a part of the mitigation. That's
What sort of businesses are next door that might be affected by it?
Ours is a standalone building. We are not attached to any of them, and there are a couple of restaurants that are next to us.
There's an ice cream shop on one side, which is like the dogs, and then next door is like an El Fresco Mexican, like a fast casual. So it's not outdoor dining.
It's not outdoor dining, but what would they be affected sound-wise?
Most likely, not as much, because if there's a excessive barking going on with the dog and all that, then we, our handlers know that to remove that dog from that environment, because probably it's causing the stress and that's why the dog is barking. So we usually remove that, take care of the kennel or in the proper manner. And again, like
So the building itself, if you look at how the building's situated, all of the dog uses are to the rear. So the building itself serves as sound mitigation as well.
Okay, so no.
No, they should live that.
No adjacent businesses on that side.
No, it's just the parking lot, and then it's the right of way to reach 28.
Okay, with that in mind, thank you. I'm going to turn this over to Jay. Please, it's your turn to ask questions. You have your hand up next. Hold on. You're muted. Try it again. Now try unmuting. Hold on. We're not hearing you. Let's get him online. No, I know what he's saying.
Does he want to type it in the chat?
Well, I don't know why. We could hear everybody before that. I don't know why I can't hear it. Say something again, Jay. I can't hear him. So, somebody else say, Jim, say something. Louis, say something. Can somebody else say something? I want to test to see if Jay's the only person.
Can you hear me?
This is Ronnie. Yeah.
I can hear others.
And this is Lynn.
I can hear others. I can't hear you, Jay. I don't know what you did or why I'm not listening to you. Oh, your headphones plugged in. I can see it not move. I see everybody else. I don't think it's on this side of the problem. Okay, why don't you write your comments in the meantime, because we can hear everybody else, and I'll turn it over to somebody else until, and I'm sorry if that is the case. Louis, Jim, or the other Jim, do you have any comments or questions?
Jeff,
Yes.
I hate to go over the same territory, but the sound was kind of spotty. It's for 150 dogs?
Correct.
Yes?
Maximum of 150 dogs. For the outdoor area though, by their lease, they're only allowed to have 40 out at a given time. So the facility itself can board 150, the indoor kennel, but for the outdoor use, it wouldn't be 150 dogs at one time outside.
Maximum 40.
Yeah, maximum 40.
Is the outdoor activity confined to the 2 fenced yards?
Yes, it's the elimination yard, which was that blue area, and that's where all of the dogs will go to the bathroom, and then that's all cleaned, and that connects to the sanitary sewer. And then we also showed 2 other, like one on each side, an exercise and agility area. We're still working through the details of those with staff.
It's like a dog hotel. It's not like a veterinarian or it's not medical treatment. It's just they're just staying there.
That's correct. It's boarding, grooming, a small retail component. They also have daycare, like doggy daycare, like if you go to work, you want to drop your dog off so that they're, taken care of during the day. And they also have, what I say, the grooming. So if you wanted to drop like a spa, if you wanted to drop the dog off and have his nails clipped or, it washed, things like that. They also offer those services. But it's
How
not
many
like
employees?
10.
10.
Not-
Is it 24 hours?
No, well, the boarding is 24 hours, but they have cameras at night, so there's not someone that's there at night and they monitor the cameras. If something goes wrong, they're alerted immediately.
It actually seems to me that the outdoor components are probably in a good place compared to a lot of other possibilities because the road is pretty noisy anyway. Is there any residential within earshot of the 2 outdoor? I didn't.
Further down, it's right away for 28 and the 29 interchange is behind it.
So nobody can hear it.
No, it's basically VDOT land. It's just some tree VDOT land. Yeah, the
And
residential.
are you hosing down the outdoor elimination area and that goes into the sanitary sewer?
So there's a whole pet waste management plan, whereas as soon as the dog goes to the bathroom, it's picked up and it's cleaned immediately, it's spot cleaned, and then the waste is put into a biodegradable bin that's taken off by a company. And then every night they disinfect and they sanitize the turf. But there is all these layers, and Sven could probably get into it better than I could, but there's, the turf, the aggregate, and all of that, and it ultimately goes into the sanitary. There's also a canopy that's going over this area so that it doesn't go into the stormwater system.
Let me ask, is there any kind of mathematical formula or standard from, I don't know, the health department or animal control or something for the size of the elimination area and the number of dogs or the number of dogs that are going to be using that? I mean, it seemed to me that there's a mathematical capacity. You could only have so many dogs, I assume, using an area of a certain size in a 24-hour period. And is there a standard for that?
I know of it. I mean, this is what we've been asked to do by the county. This is kind of their new standard for these kennel uses, is for it to go into the sanitary sewer system. And it's pretty aggressively reviewed by the environmental planners in consultation with DPWS to make sure it is, what they want to happen. So we've been told that this area needs to connect to sanitary sewer and not be part of the stormwater system. So
I gathered that. I meant in terms of the number of dogs. I mean, if you had 2,000 dogs, it wouldn't be big enough. If you had 2 dogs, no one would care. And somewhere in between, there must be some sort of limit.
We could certainly look into it. I'm not aware of a limit per se. There is an inside elimination area as well as this exterior elimination area. There's, again, a maximum of 40 dogs, and they range obviously in sizes, small, medium, and large dogs, and they're kind of partitioned in the way that they manage the dogs at the facility. But I don't think, I mean, in terms of probably the limiting factor is probably, again, just that surface area and the ability for that to be cleaned and maintained on a daily basis. Again, it's only used when they're from 6 to 8 and maximum of 40 dogs, and there's one handler per 20 dogs that would rotate them in and out.
it's actually a pretty large area. It doesn't,
Yeah.
you don't really understand how big it is until you go out there. I can't read the dimensions. Isn't it 60 by 90?
I'm not sure if it's quite that. You remember the dimensions there?
And just one thing, also by the study, like there is no such thing as our area is very large, and then we have a limitation of 40 dogs being outside at a time. Other places are lot smaller and all that, and they do not have restriction of how many dogs can they bring out. They can bring all the dogs what they have inside the facility. And 140 is 50 dogs is just the maximum capacity that we can have it. But at given time, mostly our places won't be that. We won't have that many dogs. Maximum, it will be busy only during the busy seasons like Christmas or Thanksgiving and summertime, few holidays. Otherwise, there will not be that many dogs.
But
Well,
we-
I asked about the math because there is a formula in the ordinance for the number of dogs you could keep on a residential property. And the size of the lot limits the number of dogs that someone can have. And I thought that was a sanitation health kind of related standard. It's different because you've got this underground connection to the sanitary sewer, but I still thought there might be some capacity that at some point it's too much. But I'll stop there. Thank you.
Jay had a couple of
And
questions.
I just wanted to, sorry, I'm Sahil, by the way. Hero and Bhavish are my parents. They run the dog stop. I help them with that. The max capacity is 150 dogs, but we have 68 kennels inside the building. Only a few handful of people are going to choose the option where they can have both of their dogs in the same kennel. So 150 is just the maximum capacity, but it's realistically when we're full, we're going to be much closer to that 68 to 70 or like 70 to 80-ish number, probably closer to 70. So yeah, like we're rarely, it'll be a rare occurrence for us to near that 100, 120, 150 mark.
Okay. So thank you for that. Jay had asked, what is the ratio of humans to dogs in the outside area? And is there security at night?
So the ratio is 20 dogs per one person outside. So basically, two handlers will always be outside if there are 40 dogs outside. And the security cameras, yes, we have the cameras outside.
Okay. And what's the ratio of attendance to dogs in the facility overall?
Same thing, like in a daycare, if there are 40 dogs playing in a daycare, our room is probably this big, then, and if there are 40 dogs, there'll be 2 people in there.
Okay. And there could be up to 40 dogs in a 7,600 square foot yard. Okay, is there any outside training area covered by the sanitary proposal?
No.
Training area, no, because that will be one-on-one training, so human versus dog, and they are very occupied at that time. Mostly dogs are very focused what they're getting trained and treats and all that.
So do you train the dog and its owner, or do you train the dog independent of its owner?
So right now we are, when we will be training, it will be with the owner, so one owner with one dog.
Okay, thank you, thank you. You need to work cat training in there. All right, never mind. Okay, I'm looking at any comments that I've seen or any other comments. Jay, did you get your answers responded to? If that's, shake your head one way or the other.
Yes, I think I did. Can you hear me?
All right, we can hear you now.
I didn't do anything, Jeff. For some reason, I don't like WebEx, and it don't like me.
Okay, you can lower your hand now, okay, if you would do that.
Sorry.
Jim Neighbors, Lewis Clark, Jaheen, anybody else? Okay, now this is an information-only brief. As we saw from the calendar, they're getting this, it's going to be sent for staffing. They're going to get comments back, and then they can come to us in late winter, early spring, about March of next year, or 3 months from now. Okay, so do we have any feedback to them that they can take home for consideration? Okay, go ahead and raise your hand, please. Oh, I can't hear you. Okay, write your comments.
Hey, Jeff,
Okay.
this is Jay.
Yeah.
The only thing I'd have them to consider, the son, I'm assuming, mentioned that the maximum capacity being 150, most likely somewhere in the neighborhood of 70 cages or 68 cages available. If and when it goes beyond the 68 cage capacity at night, what do they do with those animals? If there's no cage available, do they just tell the person, we're sorry, we can't accommodate your pet at this time?
So the 68, that's for boarding, and people would have the option. If an owner has 2 dogs, they would have the option to board them in the same kennel. So for boarding, we're much closer to that 68 to about 75 range, because it's rare. Most customers that have 2 dogs, they get each dog their own individual kennel, but some owners have decided to put them in the same one. The 150, that goes to, assuming we were full with boarding, had 68, and then additionally had 20 dogs come in for daycare that were to be picked up at the end of the day. That's kind of how that would work for that 150 capacity. So boarding, yes, that's overnight when people go on vacations and things like that. But we have a lot of customers that come in for daycare. They work 9 to 5 jobs. They drop their dog off at 8 in the morning, go to work, come back at 5:36, pick up their dog, and their dog goes home. Like, so that's how we kind of get to that number. If hope that made sense.
Yeah, so you're saying that your maximum boarding capacity is 68. If they come in, you
That-
will not take more. You will not board an animal out of a kennel.
That is
Correct.
Okay,
Correct.
that's all I wanted
And
to hear. Good.
To the time that we are full capacity.
Do you accept the patron's kennel to board them in, or only your own?
No, only our own kennels.
Yeah.
All right, thank you.
Thank you.
Okay, there was a comment. As somebody who used to work in rescue and volunteer at shelters, these numbers of dogs, people, SQ are unbelievable. Is that good or bad? Bad is what she's saying. What you're saying is that 20 dogs per handler is too low. All right, hold up your fingers. How many is a good number? Or write it in the chat. She doesn't know. All right. Any other comments? Go ahead.
So then, yeah, most of the dogs, they go through an assessment whether, they would play with other dogs. We just don't take any dogs for, for the daycare. So, so that's why, these numbers are based on, whether they're compatible and whether they would play with other dogs.
Yeah, the incident, we visited the kennel as a site visit, and they have them broken up by temperament, by size of dog. If dogs sort of need alone time, they go into their own area. So it is very well maintained, and the temperament and, the interaction with the dogs are definitely taken into consideration as part of their business plan.
So the dogs which are playing with each other, their behavior assessment is done and they like to play with each other, and that's the reason there are 20. But some dogs who do not show the signs that they are very friendly or cannot keep up with the other dog's energy, then they are our VIP dogs. So we spend with those dogs, it's 1-on-1. So one handler with one dog, they get to go on a personal walk for 15-20 minutes throughout the day, 3 to 4 times, or they get to go on the treadmill with them. So that way they get enough stimulation and their energy is going in the right way.
I think Jay was asking how did you do the segregation of the big small dogs in the fenced in areas? And similar ways of when there are times when they go out, if the little bunch of small dogs come out, they would go to one side of it. So they're definitely taking into consideration.
And then it will be timed also, like from 9 to 10, maybe it's a small dogs, they can go in and out as needed. And then all the small dogs will be brought inside. And then it will be the other size dogs turn to go outside. And that's how it will be controlled. So that way, no more than 40 dogs are outside, or big and small, no other dogs are there.
My thought is 20 years ago, 30 years ago, there was a paucity of daycare centers. And here we converted the daycare center to a dog care center.
Yes.
How we've gone to the dogs.
Dogs are like on the children now.
All right, any other comments? With that in mind, I want to thank Kelly and all the people here for coming tonight and making the presentation. We look forward to your return trip. Bring some sample dogs so we see what they look like and how well behaved they're going to be. And we thank you for coming tonight.
Thank you. Happy holidays, everyone.
Thank you, Howard. All right. And so the next item on our agenda, as you remember, was our discussion of the data set. I thought Cheryl was going to be here tonight. It doesn't look like she's going to be here. So I hope that Jay and Steve can talk about what's going on. Yeah, but that's not the item. So tonight, we can wait for that. Jay, you're on the line. Steve is in the seat. Why don't you sit in that famous chair?
Yeah, Steve, sit
Can you
right down
see-
in front there.
Can you hear
I can hear.
him? Okay, so let's talk about what's been going on. Well, Cynthia is trying to get a group to meet with the Fairfax Board of Supervisors. We're getting pushback from the cat. He doesn't want to meet, because he's already heard it. Not my opinion. I don't know how many other people were sensitive. But she put together a list of key issues that she wants to speak with the supervisors. And it looks like, we're going to have, initially she wanted I guess, one big meeting, but it looks like we're going to have several divisions. Thank you, Scott.
Thank you. Good night.
So she put together, so I can read off here. She's concerned, first being the unprecedented threat to water supply and on-site storage of 148,000 gallons of diesel fuel and diesel exhaust storage within 175 yards of the octagonal reservoir tributary, violating comprehensive plans guidelines on mitigating to water quality. Planning Commission, number 2 is the Planning Commission denied visuals on data center size. Incomparable 110-foot height, tallest in Fairfax and Loudoun counties, threatens critical airport navigation surface, and its massive structure would irreparably change the area character and invite similar development. Number 3, professional acousticians warnings of negative impacts on constant low frequency noise and the cumulative effects of nearby data centers have not been considered.
Hold on. Since you're the only one speaking, I'm going to move the microphone closer to you since we don't have other people get much. Wait a second.
Does anybody have any issues here today?
Yeah, somebody isn't, so I'm going to move it closer to you. Hopefully that'll make a difference. All right, how about now? How does he sound now? Go ahead.
4, county's decision to exclude electricity from the infrastructure.
It's actually worse, Jeff.
Worse.
That microphone is a little shaky.
Well, you know what? I think I had it backwards, so that might make it.
I mean, when you're speaking in it, it's good, but
Yeah, that's, so I had it facing me, not facing Jim, not facing the audience. Now here. How about
no.
that?
Okay, number
That's
4.
great.
Okay. County's decision to exclude electricity from infrastructure for higher intensity development is debatable. Number 5, approving unnecessary data centers that require a new substation and transmission lines increases electrical grid burden, contributes to climate change and increasing electricity costs, and is not impactful, and is not less impactful on the RPA or the environment. Number 6, the high cube parcel warehouse option is being overlooked as a health and traffic safety hazard. And number 7, significant opposition demonstrating the uses are not fit for the area is being ignored. And then she goes into details on the issues and possible solutions.
Okay, knowing that we know that the Prince William County Board of Supervisors approved their data center amendment, even after the current chair was primaried out. The lame duck board and others in Loudoun County going forward and us here in Fairfax County. Is she hoping that she can convince the board to vote against it?
I would guess that would be the plan. I mean, that's or certainly downscope it.
But is she looking at this site specifically or in generic, all of the sites?
She is concerned about this site currently.
Those are the questions that we have to know. That's why other supervisors are both pungent because it's not in their district.
You know, I think it's fair to say that she could expand the discussion and we could expand the discussion when we talk to the individual supervisors to address that question, Jeff. Is this something you would want in your district? Is this something you would want in your backyard? And if you don't want it in your backyard, why would you allow another supervisor to put it in our backyard?
I agree with you, Jay. The other board members have to have, I guess, skin in the game. Right now, we're talking about slot in West Sully district, almost on the next county border. And you're asking other supervisors to take a position contrary to possibly the local supervisor.
Well, you know, I think Jim is trying to point this out. There's things that are county-wide that are going to impact us. We're talking about the quality of air. We're talking about the quality of water. We're talking about massive amounts of electricity being required for these data centers. We're talking about us having to foot the bill for the infrastructure, and the vendor themselves, the data center owners themselves, pay nothing. And then they talk about the amount of tax relief we get. We'll never see that. This county will figure out a way to spend that money. I've always described it as a self-licking ice cream cone. It's exactly what's going to happen. We'll see nothing, maybe a millage percentage or so, but that's it.
I agree with you, and I believe we need to make this into a generic position rather than a specific position, as Jay just stated. Now, there are comments here. I'm trying to get to that one. We have 36 days, I believe, to get letters and emails to the board supervisors, get speakers lined up in front of from the SBC, WFCCA, HOAs, also get media coverage. There are 2 supervisors who have not voted before. It's never easy to alert folks. If folks understand what was happening, they might speak up. There are countywide implications, air quality and water quality. Who is paying for the construction of maintenance, transmission lines and the substations? Just Novak or also Dominion? Is it the local folks or is the whole county paying? What's the cost of the public health and the environment? The 27 diesel generators, human concentrated particles into the air. But if we make it countywide, it's not 27 diesel generators. There are hundreds in the county, not just the 27 here. So we got to raise the number from 27. The Prince William County folks did a good job of mobilizing the community. Maybe they were better at it than we should have. But that's the quote that I'm reading that we have. So our next meeting will be the 15th of January, the 15th birthday day. We have more time, probably a week after that meeting, to finalize what we need to do for the upcoming period, but it would be good to have our statements and other things prepared in advance of that, so we can get them agreed upon and mailed out and elevate this to the Springfield land use, to the Huntington Mill land use, Drainsville land use, if those groups exist. So they don't exist independently in some of these cases from the supervisor. The Huntington Mill land use is run by the Huntington supervisor. I don't think there's a Drainsville land use. There's a Great Falls Grange, there's a McLean Citizens Association, but there isn't a Drainsville group. They're too trifurcated to do that. So we could raise it to the Federation, but what I'm saying is that there aren't equivalent sister organizations in Western Fairfax. You know, Braddock, Providence, Mount Vernon have active groups, but they're all the way in the fuss of the county. They're not going to have bases.
Well, the other issue that I noted, so the digital gateway was approved on the same day that the announcement of the Capitals and Wizards possible move to Alexandria. I heard all about Wizards and Capitals possibly moving to Alexandria. There was no mention of Prince William Gateway. Not that.
We were watching the local news, and Prince William Gateway did get coverage. You heard that? On one of the local news stations.
I didn't hear it on Channel.
What was that?
It was minimal coverage anywhere.
Oh, yeah.
Steve is exactly right. We heard all about the other move to Alexandria by the basketball and hockey, but nothing about the digital gateway. It maybe showed up in print, but I didn't hear anything, and I watched 3 different stations.
So I was, extremely disappointed.
So, if Cheryl will be here on Wednesday, maybe we can have her help us out. I mean,
She was planning on having a little meeting after your meeting.
to my Cooper basis presentation, something that we're doing now.
Yeah.
Okay, well, we need to get organized, we need to get other people organized, and we need to do a project. We have our resolution that we sent last year.
And I sent it again.
This year.
Yeah, no, I included that in my.
And Steve, can you send me that list that you wrote up or read from, so we can attach it to this?
Yes, I can.
Appreciate that. All right, it is now close to 10:08. Don't have anything on the agenda other than the Fairfax Federation is running its Citizen of the Year Award starting this month to the 31st of January. We have people in this room who have been honored with awards. Jim Hart, Mr. Joe Litzberger, I got a citation Barrett. So please consider nominating people for that award. Or somebody who should be honored for volunteer activity. It doesn't have to be land use, it could be through your church or any other citizen group throughout the county. Okay? So,
Hey, Jeff, one more thing before we drop off. In case anybody's interested, that new data center that's being built off of Route 28 behind the old EDS site, the walls are starting to go up. The electronic are also being put in. You got to go take a look at it. It is a mess. And there is condominiums and townhomes right behind that facility.
that's what I'm saying. Those people on the west side of the Air and Space Museum Parkway will have a front row seat. And if the people in Pleasant Valley are concerned with the noise and adverse impacts, they have a Stream Valley Park. These people have a fence.
Well, I couldn't believe I had intended to object against the Devlin Technology Park. That was approved within 50 to 100 feet of the townhouses. I mean, it's just insane. It's just insane.
Okay, ladies and gentlemen, we know we have a Saturday in front of us. This is not the only incentive we can. That in mind, I hope everybody, if I don't see you Wednesday night, Mike Cooper is always a worthwhile guest. He's rubbed our back many a times, and we've rubbed his back. And I hope that you'll be there to help us hear what he has to say, ask him some vital questions, because he always is a good person to listen to. With that in mind, I wish you all, if I don't see you on Wednesday, Christmas is coming for those great holidays. Okay? Thanks, everybody, for coming.
All right, out here. Yep.
Thanks again. And Lynn, you're still here with us. Thank you for listening. Don't take Pepper's notes. Privilege communications. Have a good one.
That's a good meeting, Jeff.